All right, today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to take an engineer's approach to how the snare is supposed to sound. All right, so I'm going to crack the snare a few times, and then we'll go over to the computer, and I'll show you how to EQ your snare. All right, here we go. All right, I'm just going to loop that, and then I'll show you how it's supposed to be EQ'd. All right, here we go. So here we are at the console, and I can EQ everything through the console, but for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to show you how it is on the computer. So we're going to EQ everything within the computer itself, and you'll be able to see where I tailor the frequencies. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to highlight the snare just here and then keep it in a loop. So let me go back to where it loops, and I'll solo this out. The other drums were recorded, but I'm going to solo out just the snare drum. Let me turn the console up. All right, let me go to the end of what I played. Now this is just going to continue to loop. So what we're going to do, let's go to the channel itself. Now I'm going to take everything that I have here off. So now there will be no inserts. It will be a raw. This is straight from the microphone itself. Now let's go back. And as you can hear, it sounds extremely raw. Okay, so now here's where I go with EQ to find out what I want and what I don't want. And this is how I approach both the recording studio and live. I'm starting with a 7-band EQ. There are a high pitch frequency, a low pitch frequency, and then there is a low frequency, low mid, mid, high mid, and then highs. Okay, so now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go basically just to the mid frequency, and I'm going to raise it up, and I'm going to tell you what I don't like. Now I'm going to go through these frequencies. I'm going to tighten it up. I'm going to tighten up the Q. The Q changes the curve. So instead of getting all of the surrounding frequencies, it basically will tighten it up into just the frequency that I have selected, or at least close. So I tighten it up real tight, and then I try to find the frequency that I hate the most. That's the best way to approach this. And I've done this many different ways for many years, but this is the best way to approach this. Oh. Okay, so I hate that frequency with a passion. So that's 674 hertz. And so I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take it out now, because that was just as nasty as it can get. Now already it's starting to sound a lot better. I'll bypass it. This is raw. See, it had that honking gong. It had that honking frequency in there that I just hated. So now, so now it takes it out. Now I'm going to go up to the frequency above that, and I'll do the same thing. I'll raise it up. I'll tighten the Q, which again is how wide the frequency bandwidth is. So you can get that frequency and all the frequencies around it, or you can just pinpoint it just to that frequency. I don't make it all the way tight, but I'll start with just that frequency. Now let's listen. Okay, now I'll sweep through the frequencies to see which, in that range, to see what I don't like. Okay, I can already tell you I don't have any problem with most of the frequencies. There are frequencies there that I like, probably a little bit more in the upper mids, the higher mid frequencies. So let's find out what frequencies we might like now instead of what we don't like. All right, let me just lower it a little bit, and we'll start down here again. Yeah, raise it. I like the presence of that. Now I'm going to open up the cue, and I'll do it more so while it's playing. Okay, now I'm going to lower the gain on that because it's a little bit extreme. I'm still hearing a doo, 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 that frequency, so I don't like it. So it's in this mid frequency right here, so I'm going to open that up. So that it catches more of the surrounding frequencies. It's somewhere in there, so I'm going to open that up. So here we go. There it is. Yep. So now that's extreme. I don't want to take all of that out, but that's where that frequency is. So I'll raise it up a little bit. Yep. Now I want to add some presence to the high. So let's go over to the high frequency. And again, your console, your mixing board will have these same adjustments on the console. It may look differently, but it's going to be the same thing. Most digital recorders or consoles, they actually have knobs that look just like this, and they'll show you the curve. All right, let's add some presence. Oh yeah. Okay, now the high mid and the mid frequency right now are just a standard parametric. Right now the high frequency is set to a different type of a curve. All right, this is more of just a curve where it's picking up everything from that and above. So we're going to I'm raising it way up. I actually like that. I like that a lot. So I'm going to leave it there. So you can see how drastic this frequency right here is. This is very annoying. Now let's add some depth to that sound. So we're going to go here to the low mid frequency. And again, I'm going to raise that frequency up. I'm going to tighten it up and raise that frequency up just by itself, so that I can really pinpoint the frequency that I hate. That's pretty nasty, but let's listen. Okay, that's right in the same range here with this frequency. So I'm going to lower it a little bit and open up the cue. maybe pull it down. Yep. Maybe a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, so that's somewhere, that right there is 559 hertz. So, and I don't like that. So let me tighten it up just a little bit. Yeah, I definitely don't want the ring in there. The doo, doo, and that's what I'm hearing. All right, so let's take out, we already took that out. Let's go back down to this frequency because it's extreme right now. I'm going to open it up. And I'll lower the gain. Tighten. Yep. All right. Yes. So now it's definitely, now it's got meat to it. All right. Now I'm going to take this low frequency, which is more shelved, just like the high frequency is shelved. So the low frequency, being that it's shelved, let's lower it just a little bit. And I'll probably lower, it's right now it's set at 100 hertz. We'll probably lower it a little bit more. That's pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to play it before, and then I'm going to play it after. There's before. And you can hear how nasty that sounds. Now here's after. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice, just like it is. Now you can tell, you can see where the cut is. It's drastically cut within this mid. Okay, I'll probably go over a tom EQ later. The tom EQ is a little bit different. It's similar, but it's a little bit different than this. But we're going to stick with just the snare EQ. Now I'm going to show you, again, here's before. And that's nasty. Now here's after. Before. After. Yeah, that's very nice. All right, now I'm going to, just so that you can hear the after effect, I'm going to put just a real simple verb on here. I'll just put this one on here. It's very, very simple, and I'll maybe make it a small plate, or maybe just a room, a hall. But here, let's lower the mix. And now make it medium. Some of the reverbs that I have EQ for them as well. But if I take this, let's say I go back in and I put another EQ, just a real simple, here, let's do a multi-mono, just a real simple, just do a simple 4-band. Now this is going to EQ the snare drum with the verb, so let's listen. Now I want some presence on that, so here we go. And probably all I will need to do is just add some highs, that's it. Now I'm going to take some of the lows out. I'm going to add a little bit of high mid, give it a little bit more crack. Yeah, that's pretty nice. All right, so, and unfortunately this lapel mic might not be picking this up as well as we can hear the monitors. So here is the snare by itself. Let's go ahead and I'll just do all 3 processes. That's pretty nasty and pretty honking. And here is with the EQ. Now here's with the verb. Now presence with the verb. Yep. So again, nothing. All right, here's nothing. Now here is with all 3 processes. And the verb is always of choice. You know, sometimes you want to lower it in, making it into a small room. But this is just for demonstration purposes, just to let you know what the snare sounds with the after effects. Okay, I hope you got a lot out of that. I hope that helped you out with learning to EQ your snare. Many engineers, especially live engineers, will tell you, well, the studio is different than live and live's different than the studio. Well, I'm going to tell you this. It's all based on the same concept. If you can EQ in the studio, you can EQ live. If you can EQ live, you can EQ in the studio. This should help you quite a bit. Now, this is EQing just the snare, but then later on, I'll go through levels of teaching you how to EQ your toms and your kick, and then your cymbals, your hat, and then everything combined. And this is basically with many years of experience and haggling with other engineers. So hopefully this will help you out quite a bit. All right, so I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.